Thanks so much for joining us today. My name's Ching and I'm a product manager here at TrackVia. We'll be talking about app scripts referencing child tables. Here you'll notice is our typical TrackVia dashboard. We're going to use an asset management story today. Our assets have many inspections as well as many maintenances. So if I were to click into a specific asset, you'd be able to see every inspection that we've done against the asset, as well as every maintenance that we've ever completed against that specific asset. In our case, this is a truck, and we can see the last inspection date as well as the current inspection summary. In order for us to really understand how app scripts, the child referencing app scripts work, we first want to jump into the table relationship so you guys have an idea of the ERD. If we were to look at the ERD here, you'll notice that there's 4 tables associated in my app. The maintenance table is the one we'll focus on today, as it is the parent to inspections, which is my child, and then also the grandchild table of additional faults. So additional faults and inspections is the record that we're going to edit as we edit the maintenance. So as I complete a maintenance, I'd like to pull the date of the maintenance into my inspection as well as my additional faults. So let's take a look at that in action. I'm going to pull up a brand new asset here that we haven't added any inspections for. This is the forklift, and we'll pull over my mobile device. The inspection form is really simple. What asset is it? Does it power on? Obviously, your forms may be a little bit more complicated than this. So let's go ahead and select that Caterpillar forklift. And you'll notice once I select it, I actually have the option to go up and view the parent record of asset if I wanted to, which is the form right behind us on the web there. So I can see all the pertinent information. And we'll go ahead and say, yes, does it power on? Are there dents? Do we need maintenance? So this will automatically create a maintenance record for us because we do have an app script running there. Now this maintenance complete date is something we'll fill out as well as the maintenance association there. So I can, one, add that by hand by saying, you know what, this is the maintenance overview, but an app script is going to do that for me, so you'll see that link right here. Automatically. So once it's linked, I can say, yeah, you know what, there's also additional faults associated. There is an issue with maybe perhaps the back right tire is flat. So once I've added that additional fault, you'll notice I have 1 record there. And our goal is to, from putting in the maintenance complete date, to also fill out the maintenance completion date on the inspection, as well as the additional fault there, the tire being flat. So I'm going to jump into that actual maintenance request, and we'll see it's associated to the forklift. I can jump up and see my inspection that I just did, what the current date is, what the current status of that inspection was, if there were additional faults. And I can also see all my maintenance records. So here is that maintenance record that was automatically created by an app script. And if I click back into that, we're back where we started. Now, obviously, I want to put in some notes just to say, hey, everything's good. I went ahead and replaced the tire and the battery, and it's been completed, and I'm going to put in my completion date. So we'll mock this up for Friday, and we'll say save. So once I've selected that date, now an app script goes back and finds all my child records of inspections, and you'll notice it's entered my maintenance complete date for me. And if I jump into the inspection, you'll notice in the additional faults, it also went ahead and stamped in that date I put in my maintenance record. So let's jump in and take a look at this app script. So remember, we want to go to the maintenance table because that's where it originates. and this is the script. So first things first, I did this on a before update event, so on update of the record, obviously. And then the other item is that you can actually enable or disable your scripts as necessary. So really important for testing if you need to disable it for the time being. Now let's take a look at the script. So here, this may be a lot to look at, but let's break this down piece by piece. So that first part, if current values maintenance complete date, means if there is a value entered into the maintenance complete date. Then define maint date, so we're just making sure we have a value as the maintenance complete date. The second half of that is go ahead and find all of our child records. And the syntax there is for the current values in my child table via my child relationship. The second part of that is the tougher part where we pulled the grandchildren. So I've chosen to name this map grandchildren. You can name it whatever you'd like. But the open brackets basically say, I'm going to open this map up. And then what I'll do is I'll say, if there are children, if we do find children, go ahead and go to each child and see if there are additional grandchildren. So that's the add all there that you see. Additional faults linked to inspections. That is pulling each of the grandchild records. So in this case is a undefined map. It's just going to give it a name as it. And we're pulling from the grandchild table and the relationship from the child to the grandchild. So in this case, it's linked to inspections. Now that I've pulled all those records, I want to go update them. So first things first, let's update the grandchildren. So again, we can reference it as the records that are within the grandchild table. Go ahead and update the field maintenance complete date with my defined maintenance date. And then of course we do that with the children. Each child, go ahead and each record in that specific table associated to this parent, go ahead and update the maintenance date. Once we've done that, we've written the full script. So 1, check if a specific field is filled out in the parent, and make sure that if it is, that we go ahead and define the maintenance date. Find all the children associated to that parent. So in our case, it was maintenance. Go find all of the associated inspections to that maintenance. If there are children, then go find all the grandchildren. So in this case, we found an inspection record. Go find my additional fault records, if there are any. And if you find all of these things, go ahead and update all the child inspections and all the grandchild records, additional faults, with the field value in the parent maintenance complete date, which we defined all the way up in step 1. So that's all there is to it. This script goes ahead and pulls a value from a parent, finds all the child and grandchildren records, and goes ahead and updates them with the value. So you can see referencing child tables and grandchild tables are a little bit easier because we're able to follow the relationship down. Obviously, from our last webinar of unrelated tables, you notice that that was a little bit different of a syntax. So I hope this was useful to you guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us or go ahead and visit us on the web at help.trackvia.com. A more detailed description of app scripts can be found at developer.trackvia.com. Thanks so much, guys.